Hello, fellow doodlers. I don't even know if that sounded coherent. Doodlers, there we go. I said that with way too much enthusiasm. It's been a while since I've done long form videos. I just kind of want to make a comeback, but I don't want to take my art too seriously because then it's going to take me forever to do a long form video. So instead, I'm just going to make and state weekly doodle sessions.
It's the Lily factor. Ding!
It's actually something I do with my cousin. Every Wednesday we get together and we draw. Although more often than not lately, we really don't do any drawing, we just talk. So we started calling them yap sessions. But regardless of what we want to call it, they originated as doodle sessions. And I think it's just a fun idea to like get together and draw and talk and stuff every Wednesday. And I think it's really important for artists to do stuff like that. I'm gonna bring that into the channel. I have no idea if I can truly guarantee doing weekly doodle sessions every Wednesday on this channel. I have no idea, but I'm just gonna give it a try because it's been a while and I feel like drawing. I'm testing out the silly little pen I got at Hobby Lobby on Saturday. I went there because I was like, I need something to help me flatten my clay because I'm really bad at it. My hands are way too sensitive and my clay is way too hard, and I was having a heck of a time trying to condition my clay, and I ended up accidentally cutting my finger, and I didn't notice as I was conditioning the clay that happens. I was looking at the clay and I'm like, was this white clay always this red? Oh dear. But anyway, so I go to Hobby Lobby to get the conditioner. I call it that, it's not really what it's called. It's, I don't know, I'd have to get up and look at the box, but it's gonna help me with that because I really want to get into sculpting. I tried it a little bit last year, but I really just didn't make the time to sit down and really focus on learning and growing in it, and I really want that to be something I can do this year as like a hobby, just when I'm like, I've gotta do something with my hands, I'm not feeling like drawing, what can I do? I know, sculpt. While I was there, I found this pen in clearance, so that's why I bought it, because it was a reasonable price. And this is my first time testing out the pen. I just opened up the package a few minutes ago. So I thought, hey, doodle session. We'll just doodle with this Sonic the Silly Hog pen. I call him all sorts of stupid names. My cousin and I started doing that, and she gave him one nickname that is unfortunately stuck, that sometimes I catch myself saying on tape, and I'm like, gotta edit that out, because it'll just take way too long to explain that nickname to people. Not worth the effort of explanation. So for now, that'll be an inside joke between Kat and I. So if you couldn't tell already, I'm drawing what's on the pen. Now if I gave him angry eyes and guy liner, then we could change it up and make it that doofus over there, but for now, we're sticking to the blue blur over here. Move his arm up. Yeah, he's doing a pose with his hands. I draw him way too much, and I'm perfectly okay with that because hey, it gets me to draw, so that's the benefit of it. Now to talk about what sketchbook I'm using. I was like, I kind of want to doodle something, record, but sketchbooks I'm using are so big, but they just feel more like project focused. And I finished my fun sketchbook, which was this red spiral bound sketchbook, and I'm like, it's gone. And they stopped selling the red ones at Hobby Lobby because it was a Master's Touch sketchbook. So I mean, they have like a black spiral bound, but I'm like, it's just not the same. There's something fun about like grabbing a sketchbook and has this big vibrant cover, you know? It's just more fun. But anyhow, so I figured I'd grab this brown, I think it's a Strathmore sketchbook. Let me look. Yeah, this Strathmore. It's ancient. I think, what's the first drawing on here? Oh, that's proprietary. Why does it have to be, why is the first drawing proprietary? That's proprietary. This is all proprietary. But yeah, so these were some drawings I did when I was, gosh, how old was I? I think I was, let's see, I was that age. I think that was from either 2017 or 2018. One of the two. I'm thinking 2017? I don't know, you start to hit an age where like everything is a blur. Just Who knows? But anyhow, I never finished the sketchbook, and so every now and then I'll come to it and do random stuff. Like I was flipping through the pages and I was like, wait, I did concept art in here? You know, I have like my random 2017 and 2018 artwork in here, but then I've got Sonic tutorial drawing, and then I've got the first attempt of that tutorial. You can't even see his eye because of his nose. That's why I was like, I'm gonna try that again. And then this really poorly done study of a scene from the Spider-Verse. When did I do this? 2023, apparently. But yeah, I think I wanted to study the perspective of it, but then I was like, I kind of like this sketch, maybe I'll add some color. And I was like, let's see how this sketchbook handles watercolor. And it does not. That's the funny part of the story. This was also perspective study practice. I had like this comic that was from Mirac, and it was literal screenshots from the episode, but they like put speech bubbles and called it official comic. They couldn't have hired an artist. But anyway, I was like, well, it's actually, this would be a great thing to use as like reference in a book right next to me of like some good perspective, because with 3D, most of the time the perspective is a lot more accurate than like 2D animation because they have the actual models of the backgrounds there. So the perspective is a little more accurate until we get to like some character shots where the animators will intentionally distort the character to get the shot that was in the storyboard or to exaggerate it more. But I was playing around with the angles of that, and it was actually kind of a fun practice because then there were some points too where I was referencing off of the actual panels from the comic, but then I was like, what if I push the perspective more and make the shot more interesting? It was actually a really fun study. I kind of want to do more of that. So sometimes I'll just come to the sketchbook randomly and do silly things with it. These are just like the perfect size. They're not too small, they're not too big. So I definitely need to crack down at some point and get another spiral bound sketchbook. Maybe I could find one with a fun cover that's can handle multiple mediums and isn't from Master's Touch. Sigh. Favorite brand of sketchbooks, especially because you can get them for a good discount in certain weeks of Hobby Lobby. That wasn't a sentence that made sense. Whatever. Yeah, February was the hiatus of this channel. I only really was able to put out some short content. I don't really like how I did the shoes there. Oh well, we're just sketching. Here lately, I've been having fun with playing with line width as part of like the shading. Because sometimes like I'll, sketch in pen and I'll shade the whole thing. I'll go a little crazy with that. But I figured out it's just like more interesting too, if even shading it, if you go and like give thick, harsh outlines, but not entirely, it's like selective to give it different line width and variation, and it can look really interesting. So it's kind of fun to do that. I like this pen, it's kind of scratchy. And it's a little heavy, so I feel like I'm getting a good workout. Forcing me to like use my upper hand strength. That'll really come in handy if I'm playing video games, I'm like, now my hands are in shape. Look out, speedrunners, here I come. She says as if she plays video games often. I think I'm gonna like limit the time too, that way I don't have to cut so much in the footage too, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, fill the spread in my sketchbook, and it's like 2 hours worth of footage, and then I have to cut it down to 20 minutes, and I'm always like, yeah, this is a project that I don't have time to edit. Sketching in my pen, sketching with my pen. Do you sketch with pen? And if so, what are your thoughts on pen sketching? I just have found that I continue to love to sketch in pen more and more as the days go by. It is just, I'm obsessed now. Like literally, I've got these 4-in-1 pens, and these are perfect because I slot them in my travel sketchbook, and that makes me able to just literally have whatever pen colors I want right next to me. Because usually I'd have to dig around in my book. I'm like, I feel like sketching with a red pen today. Digs around in bag to try and find that red pen, which is always, it's never obnoxious when it's in the middle of a church service and you just hear someone in the background rustling their pens inside their bag to try and find that red pen. Anyhow. Yep, I'm the token artist in the during service. I'm that one doodling during the service. Helps me listen better. Like, it's remarkable. If I just have something to do with my hands while people are talking, it's just easier for me to pay attention to what they're saying. Because I have a very overactive imagination, and so when people start talking, my brain is like, time to go to Lily La La Land, which is what my family calls it. Alright, I think I've almost, from the timestamp, I'm like 50 some odd seconds away from having spent 10 minutes on this, so I'm probably going to move on from this drawing, because I would like to sketch a few more things in this 30-minute time frame. Yeah, I was on a hiatus for February. I did that month-long hour of animation every day challenge and shared a little bit of that on the channel, which was really fun. And so after, like, the closer and closer I got to February, wow, that wasn't even in frame. And I drew this. That was out of frame. You're welcome. Oh, we're now at 10 minutes. Okay, I'm just gonna lightly shade the rest of his bool fur here. I call it bool because I have markers that have typos on them that say bool gray and dolphin bool. And it's just become ingrained in my language now that my cousin and I are like, look at the sky! Isn't it a lovely shade of bool? Okay, next drawing. Anyhow, these are the markers. They're Ohu'u markers. But yeah, we've got Dolphin Bool and Bool Gray number 3. And I think these are the best colors known to mankind, because aren't they just the loveliest shades of bool you've ever seen? What's ironic about these is on the swatch card for the set, it actually is correctly spelled, so I don't know what happened, but I like to believe that these are highly collectible, you know, and rare. I should put them in a display case. Be like, check me out, look what I've got. I've got collectible shades of bool. Alright, I'm still drawing Sonic characters. Why am I still drawing these? Okay, who should we draw now? I'm at a loss, I'm just gonna draw Sonic again. I have the pen, it's like it's telling me, I know who you should draw. That was a bad segue into that voice. Good grief. Okay, but yeah, so I was talking about my February. So yeah, I was like, what should my challenge be for February? That could be interesting. So I was like, should I work like an hour in Blender every day? Which would have been really something else, but some other time. Oh, Blender, I miss you. But yeah, I haven't really been able to touch Blender. Gosh, I miss it. Anyhow, I'm talking, but I don't know what I'm saying. February ended up unintentionally becoming my music month instead. It wasn't like a set challenge or anything per se, it was just something I wanted to do, so I consider it a to-do list, not like one of those, I'm doing this challenge where I sit down and clock the hours, and no. I don't usually clock myself on things, which is good and bad, you know? Like, it would help to know how long it takes me to do certain things, but at the same time, I don't know, I just feel like the ignorance is bliss in that regard, because then I don't have to feel self-conscious about it. I'm making his spikes rather large. That's okay. He, put on some, volumizer, there we go, that's the word. People were waiting in suspense of like, what is she saying? Put on some what? I wasn't gonna say wait. I was gonna say volumizer. I don't think if he put on weight that it would go to his head. That's a sentence. Alright. Forgot his brow. But yeah, February was unintentionally my music month. I was working on an arrangement and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I wrote other string parts than just the violin? And the next thing I know, I'm writing in parts for viola, double bass, cello. You know, I'm just writing an arrangement based on a song, you know? So like I have the actual song as reference, and I started on paper, but then I moved to a notation software. So I had the perks too of being able to like plot out the notes in a software and everything, and I can hear the notes play back, or I can hear all the instruments play back together. But there was a time back in the day when they didn't have that luxury. And, you know, I'm just sitting there and my eyes feel like they have rocks in them, staring at my computer, and I'm just hours of arranging, and I'm just sitting there like, and I have it easier than they did. If you're a songwriter, if you're a composer, if you have musical talent, you have my respect. It is an art form in and of itself. And it's crazy. Crazy. But yeah, I love music. I'm a music junkie. Just deal with that. You're gonna hear me talk about music from time to time. So, I don't know why people would take offense to that though, so I don't know why I'm instigating anything. You know, this hand started off okay, but then I got to those two fingers in the center, and then I was like, whoa. I'm doodling, so this is not gonna be perfect. But I'm still having fun. This is typically like, you know, if I'm just doodling in my sketchbook, stuff like this is typically what happens. I'm either doodling characters or Sonic characters. And when I say characters, I mean just people. I don't know why I said characters. Sometimes I do draw my own characters, duh, but that stuff you're not gonna see until I have a big fat copyright slapped on them. Or a trademark. I don't know, whichever's better legally. I feel like trademark is more for the company than it is for the IP. But I could be mistaken. I haven't really gotten to do my research yet on that. Someday. I just want to draw him rubbing his nose. He's always rubbing his nose. Poor guy. He must have allergies. He probably like has I don't know, allergy to dust or something. Which honestly, if you think about that, that would actually be pure torture for him then, because he's always stirring up dust when he's running. And then, you know, he blows up a robot or two and there's more dust shoved up his nostrils. That's too bad. Poor Sonic. Misery. Just pure misery. I don't know if that comes across like a nose rub, but whatever. It's not like I'm gonna put this in a museum and be wearing a beret parked behind my art, hoping to overhear somebody say, "It looks like he's rubbing his nose!" Also, I wouldn't be allowed to submit art like this to a museum. That much is a given. I made his arm way too long. Hello, elbow. That's great. Okay, let's fix that. Let's see, the arm's gonna be right here, elbow over there. Yeah, mistakes happen from time to time. Pen sketching mistakes. It's okay though. It's part of the doodles. We have now encroached 8 minutes on this drawing, and I've already managed to smudge pen without fail. Without fail, I will always get pen smudging on my hands. It does not matter what I do. Sometimes it won't even be like, oh, that I had like a little glop of pen gel and I accidentally got on my hand. Sometimes it'll be I opened up the cap to my pen and managed to scribble it all over my hand in the process. Without fail. I am not making pen sketching sound fun. It's great though, I love it. And you know what I love most about it, though? Well, I don't know if that's what I love most about it, actually. I'm gonna rescind the statement I haven't even made yet. Is that the right word? Anyway, I'm gonna discount the statement I haven't even made yet, because there's a lot of reasons why I love sketching in pen. I don't even know if I can pin it down, haha, puns. But one of the benefits I find is that I don't have to deal with smudging onto the other side of the page. When I sketch in pencil, there's always gonna be smearing of my pencil drawings. It doesn't matter what kind of pencil I use, it's just inevitable. And it's really frustrating because it doesn't preserve my art very well. And I found that a lot of the sketchbooks I filled when I was much younger, including this sketchbook. I'm still younger. No, I'm just kidding. But but including this sketchbook, some of those old drawings that I have in the back that are all done in pencil, they were not well preserved. There is a point in time too where you just have to be okay with like letting it go, that your art can't be as preserved as you want it to be. Sometimes I face that reality, but at the same time too, I want to be a good steward of my art as well. I'd like it to be preserved. I like doodling in this Sonic pen. It only feels befitting to draw Sonic with a Sonic pen. It also feels a little redundant. Should I utilize the dolphin bulls I've brought out? Dolphin bulls. I mean, the Bull Gray number 3 and Dolphin Bull. These are probably not going to be good colors for the task at hand. But if I use them, I'm going to get the bleed through sheet. I got the bleed through sheet. Yay! That's the other thing. You know, this came with the set these markers came with. And this is perfectly fit to a spiral bound sketchbook like this. So, there you go. And I managed to smuggle it through an airline. Although they did randomly select me and the guy opened up my sketchbook as he was digging through my backpack, started flipping through the pages, probably trying to find this. And he missed it! It's like, dude! Also, it felt like an invasion of privacy that he was just digging into my sketchbook like that, but oh well. Well, you didn't think I was actually gonna color Sonic with this, did you? Nah, I'm just gonna do like a border. I like this drop shadow. It makes it feel like it's a sticker or something. I don't know. It's not a sticker. I don't know, okay? I'm trying to work on talking in real time while drawing. I feel like I'm actually doing pretty good today. I've improved, so that's something. It is a little tricky because you're trying to think and talk at the same time. You know, because my brain goes into some sort of jukebox mode where it's just like thinking art and solely art. This one with the same shadow coming in the same direction. Let's keep it cohesive, folks. I love that word, cohesive. It just feels like a flex to say that word, to know what that word means. You know, it makes people think you're professional when you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it this way because it's more cohesive. And they're like, oh, okay, that's good. You know, I used to really gloat that alcohol-based marker smells didn't bother me, but as I've gotten older, they've started to bother me, so I've honestly kind of been less interested in using alcohol-based markers as of late. Because I like the smell. He's like, whoa, I figured out my shadow's being cast on the side of the wall. Gonna do shadow puppets. Turns his hand into shadow. Just kidding. That pretty much sums that up. I could actually give him some depth, like he's actually standing on something. I don't really have room to do that over here. So, we just wing it. Alright, that was Bull Gray number 3. So now you guys can get a little flavor of the best color known to man. And Dolphin Bull is the second best color known to man, so I'm going to use that for something. I think it's kind of a darker color, so let me see. Yeah, it's a tad darker. We'll just like add a border around it. This is pretty true to what I do when I'm doodling in my sketchbooks. At least my travel one. I'm tempted to add something here. Just little circles, maybe. Is that bad? Probably is. Not cohesive. Ah! That's a sign. Bleed through sheets like, I'm resigning. You're insane. They should have held me hostage at customs. airports. I always get randomly selected at the airport. I'm like, I'm so glad I don't smuggle anything illegal, because I would be in jail by now. I'm always like, security officers give me the hardest time. I have so many stories, so maybe next doodle session. But yeah, I ended up only spending 25 minutes. I should probably sign this, and then that'll take care of the remaining 5 minutes. Yeah, totally takes me 5 minutes to sign my name. I wish I put that much time into it. I always like feel like I do a terrible job of putting my signs somewhere. Like I picked the wrong spot or something. What's today? It's the 11th, right? That'll give away when I release the doodle session videos. Filmed on this date, but released on this date. Anyhow. So yeah, that was our doodle session. Hope you enjoyed. Little catch up. This was actually kind of fun. I would want to do this again, because it's fun to have art videos where you're just drawing like you usually would without any sort of like stress about how it looks. You just don't know. Sometimes I'll try to do that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like fill a fun sketchbook spread. It's gonna be easy. But then I psych myself out. I'm like, yeah, the art, it's not turning the way I want it to. But yeah, sometimes you just kind of don't think when you're drawing, and when I don't think, it's almost as if there's something around me that's kind of asking me to draw it. I don't know. Do you know Sonic?
Why, yes, I do know Sonic. Sonic the Duck Hog.
Anyway. So yeah, it's a fun doodle session. I'll see you next Wednesday, hopefully, maybe. I can't make any guarantees. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and may God bless you in your life and your art. Bye! Oh, and thanks for doodling with me.